Great to see you here again in this new part. I'm going to describe the different PMP domains or the CAPM domains. Basically, they're the same, and they're the same domains, what we have for PMP or for CAPM. In this first video, I will talk about the introduction, project environment, and the role of the project manager. These are, in fact, the three chapters, the starting chapters of the PMBOK. When we look at introduction to project management, about 6% of the exam questions is about this. Now, this is chapter 1. Here we describe the project management process, including the 5 process groups. There are, in this version, 49 processes over 10 knowledge areas and the 5 process groups. You have to understand which processes belong to which knowledge areas and how they are divided over the 5 process groups. We will go into that in detail. Now, we also have to learn about the relation between project, program, portfolio, and processes. Processes relate to operations management. We've been talking about that in the different preparation courses, or if you had different courses about project management, you may recognize these terms, but I'm bringing them back so they are linked exactly to the exam and to the PMBOK. We talk about the project life cycle, and there is a new concept in this PMBOK in the 6th edition, which is what we call tailoring. Here we are going to adjust the processes to the project type and size. A small project or a project that's not really complex, you don't need all the processes. You will adjust the different processes so that you can, in fact, you don't have an overkill of all the work that you're going to do. When you have a very complex, very large project, then it becomes interesting to have all those processes, all those process groups defined in your project. But when you have a smaller, not complex project, it may not be necessary. You always have to tailor what you're going to do related to the effect that you're going to have. The second chapter is the project environment, again 6% of the exam questions. Here we look at the factors and assets that may impact project outcomes, and we talk about the enterprise environment factors, the EEFs, and the organizational process assets, the OPAs. What are they? Enterprise environmental factors relate to internal and external factors of the environment in which you are working, while the organizational process assets are in fact or is about the knowledge that you already have, the processes that you have implemented. And it's very important to understand that once you're working with a project or working in a project environment, everything you will learn will become part of those organizational process assets, the OPAs. We look at the organizational systems and the way projects are managed and the power of the project manager. Very important to understand what is the power of the project manager. We will look at the different possibilities, and as a project manager it's very important to identify where you are, what your power is, because it will also provide the limitations that you have on the project. We also look at the PMO, how it works with the project management in the organization, and also we look at an overview, overview the hierarchy of projects, how we deal with those. Chapter 3 is about the role of the project manager, typically 7% of the exam questions. Here we look at the definition of the project manager. We talk about the sphere of influence and the relationship between the organization and the power of the project manager. We look at the skills the project manager should have. We talk about technical skills, strategic skills, business and leadership skills that a project manager should master. We also look at the PMI triangle or the iron triangle. We also call it the scope triangle. We introduce it here and we will look at that later. When we go to the agile environment, we look at the inverse PMI triangle. We also look at the difference between leadership and management. What is a leader? What is a manager? Where are they different? And we are also looking at the project management who's performing integration of different levels. So that was it for this video. In the follow-up videos, we will look at the other knowledge areas that are part of the PMBOK. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you and bye-bye.